So 1 year ago, transmilitary raid have killed over 30 people in Yemen, so including an 8-year-old American girl. So her name was Nawar al-Alaki, so her nickname is Nora. So the father was Anwar al-Alaki. He was killed by an American drone strike in Yemen in 2011. So this guy was an extremist, but like he shouldn't have been drawn because according to the US Constitution, US citizens have the right of due process, but the Obama administration just didn't give him his right of due process and they killed him with a drone, which is unconstitutional. And also like the war in Yemen, like the US military shouldn't even be in Yemen in the first place because every war have to be approved by Congress and this war wasn't approved by Congress. So this war is unconstitutional. So the thing is that 2 months after Abdul Rahman was killed, which is the son of Anwar, so this guy was completely innocent. He didn't do any wrongdoing. So he was eating in an outdoor restaurant, so with his friends and his family, and he was killed. His cousin also was killed, and some other people were killed at the time. And we didn't have any response from the US government. Like they didn't say anything. Like, why did you kill Abdul Rahman? Why did you do that drone strike? The only thing that we know is that Robert Gibbs, Obama's press secretary at the time, famously said that Abdul Rahman, that he should have, quote, a far more responsible father. So that still doesn't tell me like why did you drone him? I mean, that's not a good reason. Like what they say is basically that well, your father was a terrorist, so to make sure that you're not becoming a terrorist, well, we have to kill him. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, Abdul Rahman, he have no sign whatsoever that he was an extremist. And like this remind me of the drone strike program in general, because according to the drone strike, the people that work in the drone strike program, they refer like the kid that they drone as fun-sized terrorists. Well, that also remind me this thing, because that's the same scenario. Like they have to kill the kid to be sure that he does not become a terrorist. And also that's the same thing with Nora al-Alaki, which is as I've said, the daughter. Trump said months ago that on Fox and Friends that he wanted to, quote, take out the families of terrorists. And then, shocker, his first meteorite have killed over 30 people, including the daughter of an Al-Qaeda guy. I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, this suspicious. So that's very heartbreaking that over 30 people were killed. And also, Trump increased drone strike by 432%, even though like 90% of the drone strike killed innocent people. And that is from internal memo government. I mean, that's a leak from the government, so we know it is true. And apparently Trump don't care that the murder of civilians overseas, so he increased the program, and like that's very heartbreaking that he don't care about civilian deaths. And the thing is that I also think that Hillary will have approved the raid in Yemen, and this was prepared for months ago, and Obama didn't approve this raid because he said that we don't have any enough intelligence, and that we was going to kill civilians. It was very likely, so Obama didn't approve that raid. But like at the second that Trump was in office, he approved that raid. And like I think when Trump approved that raid, I think it was eating in the White House, and when the raid happened, like it was not even in the Situation Room. I mean, like that's your first meteor raid. You can't be in the Situation Room. Like that's a special case. So no, it was not even the Situation Room. And in his State of the Union, like he talked about Ryan Owens, which is a Navy SEAL that were killed. But he never talked about, the 30 other people that were killed by the US forces. He never talked about them. Why? Because it makes him look bad. So the thing is that like he shouldn't even listen to his general. I mean, his general are always going to be pro-war and pro-intervention. And I think like the entire drone program is like that's fucked up. I mean, over 90% of the drone program kill the wrong people, I mean, you should stop. So the thing is that also one person that survived to a drone wedding in I think 2014. So this guy was a survivor, and so he was killed in this transverse meteorite. He was killed. So that's very heartbreaking again. And you also see that whether it is a Republican administration or a Democrat administration, that like it doesn't change. I mean, that's a good example. I mean, what Obama killed Anwar and Abdul Rahman, and meanwhile right now Trump have killed Nora, which is a daughter. I mean, it really show that there are no difference between the Republican and the Democrat on foreign policy and on intervention in general. I mean, if the Democrat had balls, I mean, I think they could have impeached Trump just on this. I mean, it clearly violates the Constitution and like the Constitution that protects from unreasonable punishment. Sorry, like because like Nora, she suffered during like 2 hours before she died, and like and again, it is unconstitutional to kill U.S. citizens. And also like the drone program in general, I mean, the president can't just he can't just be like the judge and the executioner. Like he can't have all this power. And also like Abdul Rahman, no sorry, Anwar, yes, Anwar the father, like he was killed on Obama's kill list. Obama had a kill list which is clearly unconstitutional. So again, when all these people were killed, I'm talking about Abdul Rahman and Nora, nobody went to jail. Nobody went to jail. I mean, if tomorrow I want to take a knife and stab a U.S. citizen in the back, I don't know. If I want to stab anybody, I will obviously want to jail. So why? Why is that when it is the government, like you don't want to jail? Why is that? I mean, everyone should have the same treatment according to the law, right? I mean, just think about this, and this makes me think about the Adissa massacre when U.S. soldier killed 24 unarmed Iraqi, and they get away with it because I think they were like Blackwater guy, and because of their influence, you know, they did not have any trouble with that. I mean, that is sick. Like you kill civilian and you don't have any like you don't have any sanction, you don't want to jail or anything. That is sick, and it really shows how the U.S. government is operating. And also, the last thing that I want to say is that remember in Aleppo in 2016 when the American politicians were saying that we should intervene because Bashar al-Assad is murdering his own people, and that he was using barrel bomb and butchering his own people, and that it was a humanitarian crisis. Okay, so why is that when we have the US citizen actually droning their own citizen, why is that I don't know, Russia, why can't they just say, okay, alright, now we're gonna topple the US government because you've been too tyrannical to your own government, to your own citizens, sorry. I mean, that's the same thing that they're saying against Assad in Syria. So why, according to your own logic, why can't, I don't know, the Russian topple the US government because the US government is actually killing his own people? I mean, why can't we have the same logic in Syria and the same logic in the United States? The Syrian government is killing his own people. Okay, I may disagree with it, but like we have actually proof of the United States government killing his own people and with drone. I mean, Assad is not using drone. Ask to, I don't know, the Argentinian government if they drone their own people. No, they don't. Ask to, I don't know, Chechnya if they drone their own people. No, they don't. I mean, the United States is literally the only government in the entire world that drones their own citizen. So that is all I have to say. And I'm sorry if like it's hard for you to understand me because my English is not perfect. So I did my best. I hope you understand, and see you soon.